A factor theorem is a way to tell, is this a factor? What does it mean if it's a factor? Divide how?
By the same numbers?
Yeah.
Equally?
Equally, evenly. So what are the factors of 6? 3 and 2. They divide evenly. 5 is not a factor of 6 because it doesn't divide evenly. And so when we're looking at the factor theorem, it is what will divide evenly into the polynomial. And why this is important is we are going to eventually have to factor polynomials. That's what we're going to be doing the beginning of next week. We'll talk about how to figure out what to factor with on Friday, but we will be getting the factoring next week. And all it is using the division and it dividing evenly. And then you use regular factoring when it gets down to quadratics. You either use factoring or use the quadratic formula, depending if it wants the roots or if it wants factored. So the factor theorem, just for the most part, says if the remainder is 0, it is a factor. So you're going to be asked questions like this today. Is x plus 1 a factor of the polynomial g of x equals 6x cubed plus 5x squared minus 2x minus 1? So how can we determine how many columns I'm going to need?
By the x
What do you need,
cubed?
2 or 3?
We need is by the x cubed, and since this is just an x, we go one more.
So 4.
So we need 4. If it was an x squared over there, then you even need the exact same. Now, the main thing that we are concerned with today is what's happening in this box. Is this box 0? If that box is not 0, then it's not a factor. So we're trying to figure out x plus 1. Is it going to divide evenly into that polynomial? What would I put in the first box?
6x cubed.
And so when I check that for division, what would I end up multiplying by to get to the next box?
6x squared.
And so that's what we factor out. Now the next column, we are trying to create that 5x squared. So what would the top row need to be in that column? And so what did I need to multiply by x by to get negative x squared? So negative x times 1. Negative x plus what is negative 2x? And so negative x, what would I need to multiply x by to get to negative x?
-1.
And so I multiply, that gives me negative 1. Therefore, my remainder to get to that negative 1 is 0. That means that x plus 1 times 6x squared minus x minus 1 is that g of x. So, yes, this is a factor. Tonight you're going to have a maze, and if it is a factor, you go through the path. If it's not a factor, you don't.
So it's only a factor if it's 0?
It's only a factor if it's 0. Let's do one more just to practice one more time. So, how many columns am I going to need?
4.
How many rows am I going to need? And so we have 4 columns and 2 rows. X minus 3 are my rows. And I want you to do this on your own, determining is this a factor, yes or no. It's not a factor because that's a 12.